AirPods. I'm wearing these, so can you help me, Pascal?
Sure, I'll be right there.
Just make sure you can hear me, okay? No, I don't need you to travel. Don't. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
But I can't hear you through the Bluetooth, unfortunately.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, no, I could hear you, but not through my headset. So I'm just going to try a different pair.
Okay.
Yeah, working with the new advanced AirPods. Maybe my computer's a little old for that. So, let's see, just for sound quality, you wear a headset, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Am I in your ears now?
You're in my ears now. Thank you. And I just want to say welcome to anyone who's catching this live. You are so welcome here, and welcome, Pascal. You, as always, are so welcome here. We'll go through a little bit of some formalities, and then we will get to this call. But I just want to warmly welcome everybody who's arrived so far. And yeah, just bear with me because I'm working with learning some structure in my life and in my business. So I will be kind of just like reading a little bit, but it is from my heart. It's just something I wrote out today. So hello, Ola, aloha, welcome, welcome to all that are here with us. Whether you're with us live or catching the recording, please always feel free to use the comment section to say a hello and let us know where in the world you're joining from. That would be so nice. You can also ask any questions during the call by using the comment section, or better yet, join us via Zoom. Me and Pascal are here on video. You know, it'd be really nice to have you to really dive into this discussion together. I'm just so thankful and grateful for the opportunity. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Janetta Nikini. My friends and family call me Jin. I am a certified regenerative detoxification specialist, alkaline health coach, clinical iridologist, and second-degree Reiki practitioner. That's a new one. I healed from a C-spine injury and an array of chronic health issues I had suffered with since childhood. And I really am just feeling so called to share my resources with you and connect with you. So I'd also like to warmly welcome you, Pascal. We have a fellow regenerative detoxification specialist certified with Dr. Robert Morris, just like myself, situated in Ottawa, joining us tonight and hopefully bi-weekly on these calls. If you can make it, Pascal, you're just such a wonderful addition to the team here at the Raw Reset. So I just warmly welcome you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And a little bit about our private Facebook group. For those of you who are new here, the Raw Reset was formed to connect, inspire, and uplift one another in community. Regenerative healing practices and a focus on mindfulness offer a gentle approach to healing the mind, body, and spirit. The Raw Reset is a beginner's guide to transitioning over to a more raw living food lifestyle of abundance. It's a support group run by certified detoxification specialists trained at the International School of Healing Arts with Dr. Morse to share and answer any of your questions pertaining to regenerative healing. This is a safe space that serves as a source of motivation for all of our individual healing journeys, and vitality is of the utmost importance here. So if you like what we're doing, a good way to exchange the energy in a meaningful way to help me is to like and share these videos. You can invite your friends to the group or anyone you know who you think could benefit from the information here. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please do so, The Healing Junction. And you may have to type in Toronto, depending on where in the world you are. I have many educational videos on my IGTV, and I have a website where I also blog about the many resources that supported me on my own healing journey. So my website is thehealingjunction.ca. And the intention for these calls is to hold space bi-weekly for like-minded community to connect and share about their own personal healing journeys, to uplift, inform, and inspire, to support you on your healing journey, and to offer a live interactive experience in a safe container with people you can take refuge in and take comfort in the commonality you'll find here. So we're also here to answer any of your questions related to healing on all levels, mind, body, and spirit, and to give you an opportunity to see if you resonate with the teachings of regenerative detoxification, which is our specialty here, Pascal and I. And we'll see if Candy will join us tonight. She's another fellow detox specialist who I'm running the group with. So thank you, Candy, for all your efforts there. And for those of you who might want to go deeper with your personal healing journey, if some of this information resonates for you, you can reach out for further support anytime. I offer private one-on-one regenerative healing coaching sessions in person here in Toronto and online. I offer customized programs that are geared toward your specific needs. And newly, I offer distant Reiki. So online Reiki, yes, we can beam this beautiful energy to you. And I'm just really excited to share this miraculous healing energy with you. The best way to reach me is to DM me on Instagram or to simply send an email to Jeanette@thehealingjunction.ca. And just to finish up some housekeeping here before we begin, it's important that you don't text or have your ringer on your phones or devices. This is actually mostly geared toward when people join us on video. And we're expecting more people in the future as these are growing. But yeah, just a request to keep your phone or devices on silent if possible, and to please dedicate your full presence to this call by keeping your video turned on for the entire duration. We plan to keep the call to about an hour and 15 minutes. And just a recording agreement, because even the people who may jump on the Zoom call later, but this is going to be important to them, or even if you're just in the comment section of our group, this is also important. So we want you to know that we're broadcasting live today and intend to share the recording via our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook group. So by admission to this call, you consent that me, Jeanette Anakini, may use your image, voice, and questions or comments from the recordings. The recordings are treated with the utmost respect and shall be used only to help share the tools and resources discussed herein. It's your responsibility to not be filmed if you do not wish to be. In the event that you do not wish to be filmed, please use the group to participate by either listening in or leaving comments. You may ask any questions there as well. By being present here at this moment in time, you agree not to use anything discussed here as a replacement for medical advice. And if you don't wish to be filmed or photographed, that is your responsibility. We thank you so much for your participation in advance. And now we can jump right in and just ground all of that information with a beautiful meditation. So I just ask you, Pascal, and anybody else who's here with us live, to really just find a comfortable seat or position, maybe even laying down. And I can guide us in the Boteco breathing method if you like to join. So just take a seat, close down the eyelids, breathing in and out through your nose. See if you could breathe down into your lower belly, feeling it rise and fall. So allow your lower belly to inflate and deflate. And the breaths are relatively shorter than some other meditations you might be familiar with, where they're lengthening the breath. We're not doing that here. We're just breathing in and out. Imagine you're a little baby and your belly is inflating and deflating, just like the baby breathes down into the lower belly. Continue breathing like this, in and out through your nose, allowing the belly to rise and fall. This is a perfect time to set the intention that this call and the information shared here may spread wide and far and be of benefit to as many beings as possible. And on your next exhale, see if you can hold your breath out. So finish your exhale and then just hold. Continue to hold your breath until you feel a medium to strong air supply shortage, in which case I'll ask you to continue breathing as you were before, but keep holding your breath if you can. Your mind will say, oh, you have to breathe. See if you can go 1 or 2 more seconds. And then when you do start breathing again, please don't gasp for air. Just breathe gently as we were before, in and out through the nose, the belly rising and falling. Let's continue with this for another minute. While you're continuing to feel the belly rise and fall, breathing in and out through your nose, see if you can visualize a red light at your root chakra, expanding wide and far, and reaching down like an energetic cord of light all the way into the root of the earth, the core of the earth, rooting into the core of the earth. I am here in this body, here and now. Bright red light at your root, connecting you to the center of the earth, stabilizing and grounding, cultivating some earth energy in our awareness, coming out of the wind energy of the mind, and connecting to the body. And then on your next exhale, complete the exhale and just hold the air out. So hold your breath. See how long you can hold it until you have a medium to strong air supply shortage. And then you'll start to breathe again as we were before. So just remembering when you breathe again, not to take a big breath of air, just a very smooth inhale and exhale through the nose. Feeling the belly inflate and deflate, calming the energy, calming the nervous system, coming out of the fight, flight, and freeze state that most people operate in, most of society operates, and coming into the parasympathetic state of rest and digest and healing. On your next exhale, I'd like you to hold your breath one last time. This time you might be able to go a little longer before you feel the medium to strong air supply shortage, at which point you can come back to your breathing. Bring your awareness to some spots in the body that might be holding some tension, perhaps some blocked energy, and just be aware. Just giving that area a little attention and loving kindness to those parts that are holding on. Just letting them be exactly as they are without resistance. And you'll find that they'll naturally soften or start to soften on their own when we don't resist them. Take a few more breaths, and at your own pace, slowly begin to bring some movement to your fingers and toes. Bring your awareness to your eyes. Set the intention to open your eyes very slowly when you're ready. Taking your time, coming back into this room. Thank you for joining me. And I know, Pascal, you had an offering. So when you feel ready, please recite the prayer. And just so anyone is listening, just for anyone who is listening right now, this prayer has been altered by Pascal using his skills in quantum grammar. Is there anything you'd like to say before the prayer, Pascal, or will you like to go straight into the prayer?
I'll just jump in.
Okay.
You can hear me, eh? My audio is
Yes,
nice?
yes,
Okay.
I can hear you well. Thank you.
For the love of the Creator is with our minds, our bodies, and our souls. For the truth of the universe is with the self and our friends. For the creatures of the earth are with our performances by the kindness. For my volition is with my convictions. For my trust is with the Creator's guidance. For the knowledge of my life's journey is with the growth and cultivation by my volition. For the performance of my volition is with the magnanimity by the claim. And just a note, the definition of magnanimity is greatness of mind and heart.
Ooh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, thanks for the guided meditation. I'm ready to it's all smooth sailing from here. I was ready to go. I was ready to go real fast, but now you've slowed me down.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I needed to slow down too. I was actually on the road about, well, I was going to say 15 minutes ago, but no, it was a while. It was like maybe 30 minutes ago. I was trying to get home to be here in time. I was a few moments behind. So thank you for your patience. It's so nice that you want to join for these, Pascal. I can check and see if we have any comments from anybody joining live. And
Okay.
maybe we stay on this call for, another 40, 45 minutes kind of thing, if you have time for
Sounds
that.
good. I got all
Okay.
night.
Oh, so nice. So nice that you make it a priority to be together like this. For those of you who are just getting to know Pascal and I, we are dear friends. He is in Ottawa offering regenerative healing. He's a certified detox specialist, I mentioned earlier on this call, but just for those of you who might be tuning in now to our live and didn't hear me before, I just feel really honored and blessed to have you, Pascal, in my life, because, it warms my heart that, you take your health so seriously and you take full responsibility for your health, and you're making the effort to really learn that, the body is perfectly capable of healing all by itself, just by us kind of stepping out of its way and offering it a little bit of support. So yeah, such a pleasure and honor to be with you, Pascal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And the feeling is mutual, obviously.
Hmm. Do you want to tell them about what happened this week?
Sure. Well,
That would be fun.
you're in Toronto, right?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
And I was around Toronto and I made a pit stop and you met me and we met and we had a nice walk and we connected and it was real nice.
Oh my gosh, guys, it was so fun to have Pascal. It was so fun to have you. We ended up walking for like, I don't know, it must have been like 2 hours in nature. There's a place called Tommy Thompson Park in Toronto, and it's like surrounded by water. And Pascal, you were like an adventure man. Like, I think you're the most adventurous person I've ever taken on this walk, because I just love the way you were just like exploring the plants and like going down closer to the water, like the things that I don't normally do. Pascal was showing me, it was like an angel, showing me how nature can kind of speak to us. And you taught me that it calls me in. So when I went back after you and I went on my own, I followed your guidance and nature's guidance. And it was like saying, come this way. There was different paths along the path that were just like, come, Jin, come over here. And I found an amazing spot where a tree right by the water, a tree was holding me. Like I grabbed onto its roots and I was like doing all my like yoga stretches. I could feel my spine decompressing. And I actually became very emotional because like just being near the water and like so connected to the earth, and this tree that's these trees hold us always, but it was physically just holding me. And I was like, like crying, and it was just so healing. So I just wanted to share that. I felt really inspired by you. And then I got my hands on some amazing fruit. Yeah, Pascal, that I was able to share. So I don't know if you remember the fruit. Maybe I let you talk about what I gifted.
Sure. I forgot this is all exotic fruit that we don't get here.
Right.
The first one was
Guanabana.
and what's the other name for it?
Oh, sour sop.
Sour sop. Okay.
Sour sop.
And the other one I forgot also.
That is just passion fruit, these little purple passion fruits. Yeah. So if you are in Toronto and you're looking for high quality fruit, DM me or reach out. I have some really good friends bringing fruit overnight air from Cuba, Colombia, and Ecuador. And that's where the fruit was from. What did you think of it, Pascal? Was it sweet enough for you? Like, as a high raw fruitarian, I know you could kind of get, the taste for really good quality stuff. Like, was it good enough? Or
it was good.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Because exotic fruit has to all fruit has to travel, right? And so it's difficult to get. Sometimes you get fruit that's not good quality just because of the shipping and the travel. It changes things anyways. But
it's hard to get good quality. It really is. I'm so glad you liked it. It's so funny, like, the codependent in me is like, was it good enough? Did you like the fruit? Please validate me. But at the same time, I've learned that if somebody just eats the whole thing and they don't say anything, like, they've enjoyed it because it's gone. So stop being so codependent about it. If anyone is joining us live and have any questions about regenerative healing, this is what we're here to do. We're certified regenerative detoxification specialists, and that means that we're really focused on the great lymphatic system and how this is the body's true immune system, and how when this is functioning well, there's no swollen lymph nodes, there's no sinusitis, you're very much free of a lot of tensions, any itises, gastritis, tendonitis, arthritis, these are just symptoms of a plugged up, stagnant lymphatic system. And also we are specializing in the alkaline acid balance and fasting. And these are topics that we're really excited to share about. So if you're catching us live and have questions, please don't be shy. Just drop that in the comments. If you're catching the recording, we'll check back after as well. So we're here to support you, inspire, and uplift, as we were saying before.
All right, Jen, does that mean I get first dibs for questions?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love
Okay.
it. I was going to choose a topic, and then I thought,
I
well,
think
we
you
could
chose it
flow.
already.
Okay,
I think you
let's
chose
see.
the topic already, the lymph system.
Ooh, okay. Let's do it.
So what is the lymph system? Is
You
my
want me to
question
talk
to
about
you.
that? Yes.
Well,
Okay.
I can talk about it too, but
You're sweet. You give me the spotlight. I love it. I love it. And guys, keep any questions flowing in the comments, please. It's nice to have some dialogue together with you. You're so welcome here with us. So the great lymphatic system is something that the medical system don't even speak about, nor do they study. Apparently, it's not even really in the medical textbooks, and I should say, all the cancers are lymphomas. So they surely know about the lymph system. I mean, we're 25% blood and 75% lymph fluid. Like, come on, you can't ignore a whole system in the human body and say you're a medical or healthcare system, right? So it's pretty fascinating. The lymph system, I would say, like Dr. Robert Morse says, is the sewer system of the body. So it's the water, and fluid that connects us head to toe, connects every organ, tissue, and gland. And when it's accumulated waste, like a sewer system, right, it needs to actually get flushed. Like it can't otherwise it backs up, and that's when we start to get all the stiffnesses. Those acids are hot, inflammatory, corrosive. They're just sitting there burning. So we have to move the lymph, and these lymph nodes are actually like little septic tanks for the lymph system, and our kidneys are the biggest filter. So the lymph nodes in the kidneys are going to help you to clean out your lymph. This is our filtration. The lymph nodes have.
So sorry to cut you off, but
No.
did you say, so it's a sewer, the lymph system?
We're comparing it to that. The bathroom of the body versus the blood, which is the kitchen, which is where we get fed all our nutrients.
You know what, I was writing my notes, and when I thought of that, I said, oh, the cafeteria. But then even better, I said, hey, because the cafeteria, you have to walk and move yourself to the cafeteria. Better yet, the blood is the Uber Eats.
Ooh, very modern, Pascal. Is there a commission fee though?
Oh, there is.
That's amazing. Yeah, people don't really realize that like the lymph nodes are there to actually break down a lot of waste that is in the lymph system. And it's perfect. These lymph nodes are perfectly capable in a healthy system, but over time they stop being so capable. There really ought to be macrophages and white blood cells in the lymph nodes that break down cancer cells, right? And so we don't need to be forming big tumors, that's kind of the extreme.
So are you saying that lymph nodes become or turn into tumors?
No, they just aren't able to process the waste that is accumulated in different areas of the lymph. And that waste, gets into the cell. That's acid waste that gets into the cell and damages the cell, and is supposed to just go to the lymph node to actually be broken down and carried out. So if there's other areas of the body that have acids and it just kind of like stagnates, that's a cyst, that's a polyp. It's an accumulation of this waste that wasn't able to get broken down.
Okay. But before we keep on going, when you mentioned lymph, I said, hey, I'm going to look up the etymology of the word lymph. Etymology is just the history of words, right?
I like
So
that.
lymph, okay, it's from
What did you
French,
find? Yeah, tell
okay,
us.
and it's Latin via French, meaning water, also clear water, also a goddess of water. It means
Interesting.
waters, right?
Yeah.
It's and then there's the Greek. So it seems like there's a relation between the word nymph, so goddess of a spring, nymph. Anyways, it seems
This is a
like
beautiful
it
goddess of the
means
body. We
water.
we
Yeah.
don't need to compare it to a bathroom anymore. This is the water goddess
Clear
moving out
water.
all our waste.
So that's the thing. The lymph system is clear. Therefore, it's hard for scientists to see it because I'm pretty sure in an autopsy
Mm.
or when they look at the body and the organs and everything, you can't see the lymph system because it's clear.
Well, there's blood and lymph that feeds the cells. And then the cells also poop. This is
That's
why we
right.
call it a
So
bathroom. Metabolic
okay,
waste.
metabolic waste. So I don't know how many trillions of cells we have. I should have looked it up.
The number keeps going up. Don't
It
worry.
keeps going up. But think about this, each cell eats and poops, right? And so where it it doesn't make sense to me that the cell would get its food from the blood and also poop in the blood.
Yes, that doesn't make any sense.
It does
Yet
make
they look at the
sense,
blood for everything. Like
right?
it's a self-cleaning. I don't think this is where the attention needs to go. I agree.
Um, okay, so metabolic waste then gets dumped in the lymph system, um, which is then broken down by whatever's in the lymph. Now you mentioned
Lymph nodes, yeah, in the
the
lymph
lymph
node.
nodes and all the is it bacteria?
Mhm,
The white blood cells? No.
mhm. Yeah, and macrophages, which are the friendly bacteria, like pretty much the white blood cells, yeah, that break down any um,
And then there's
acids, toxins.
right. And then there's the kidneys.
Right.
And the kidneys seem to be the main filters. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, and they've been really backed up over the years. We were never taught that, oh, hey, like make sure your kidneys are filtering. Like whoever taught us any of this? I met a woman today. She has, some skin excretions, right? Acne is no different than eczema, psoriasis. Guys, these are relatively easy to clear up. I'm sorry to say, for those of you who've suffered for years and years without answers, it might be a little bit of a shock to hear me say that, but we can completely clear this up, relatively quickly and easily by getting the kidneys filtering. So I spoke to her because she also has some swollen lymph nodes. And that's where I came from too in the beginning of my healing journey. It really freaked me out. And she opened up to me and explained that, like, yeah, she was worried this could be cancer and like tumors and things, right? Anytime lymph nodes swell, it can be really scary. But it's all related back. I just said, look, join my private group, get the file. Anyone who's tuning in or catching the recording now, here, just go into files and choose kidney filtration. And this actually teaches you how to check and test your own kidneys. So you pee in a jar, right? You've done a lot of kidney filtration tests yourself, Pascal, or?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got pretty curious.
of course.
I know you're going hard with your detox journey, so it only makes sense that you would have done this. Yeah.
Well, it seems like that's the key. Once you get your kidneys filtered, then the whole lymph system, which filters through.
Yeah.
I mean, if the filter's jammed, then everything that's sitting on top of it can't move,
Yeah.
right? So once you get the kidneys moving or filtering, then all the acids, it can now freely flow.
Along with getting the bowels moving too, hey, like that's also going to be very important for the lymph. The lymph dumps into the bowels and is connected to the bowels, because the lymph, like, it's the water, right? So it just connects everything head to toe. I remember a study that came out like 5 years ago by, like, I guess it was I guess one of these big, like, medical, anyways, I'm gonna butcher it by trying to explain what it is, but one of these studies came out on, like, the brain and how they were like, that's it, oh, we've discovered this brand new system in the head. This is the glymphatic system, they called it. And it's like,
Okay.
guys, it's no different. It's the whole lymph system. It's not just like only one system in the head called the glymphatic system. No, it's the lymph system connecting us head to toe. And you clean this out, all of your symptoms of poor health go away. Your vitality is just out of this world when your lymph is moving.
And then we use this thing called iridology to basically look at the lymph system as it pertains to each organ. And you mentioned the brain, right? And I mean, I can see on your chart there's the brain, and I've looked at my own eyes, and let me tell you, there's a lot of lymph right in that upper section. And just like what I said about the kidneys and everything's sort of sitting on those filters and they're not moving because the filters are jammed. Well, the same thing, if my gut is full of lymph that's stagnant, then the lymph in my brain cannot move.
Exactly.
So and that makes me think of you when you're detoxing, when you're eating fruit and on herbs, you're doing you
Go on.
basically have to learn how to multitask, because you can't focus on one thing for 6 months and then move on to another thing. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to, you got to basically do all these different things one after the other and then keep going. It seems to be that's the way to do it.
I mean, yeah, I think you're hitting it right on the head there.
Okay,
This is
so
so fun and so
we've
nice.
talked about lymph. I say we another thing is, are there any questions in the chat?
We don't have any questions yet, but like I said, this is something that I want to do every 2 weeks now. So I think we start to grow, because when you're accountable in that way, people will remember. They'll pencil it in their calendars. I've been juggling getting back to, like, my gigs in the health food stores and at the fruit store I work at and stuff. And so I haven't been, like, super consistent with these, but I know that you said, Pascal, that we could do every 2 weeks, and that felt really right for me as well. So I think by, stating that here and now, we start to grow this community. And we just ask anyone who's catching this recording, to please join us live in the future. It's just really nice to have you. We're just here to support each other. You can choose to be an active listener or even share about your own personal journey. I met a friend today who, she really wants to join the group, but she was working this evening, so she wasn't able to join us on the call. But she is joining the group. But she was talking about, like, feeling really down lately, really tired, and then going for these, like, vitamin drips. And while that's not something we actually you know, actively promote here at the Raw Reset, because we kind of, we're getting away from supplements, you know, unless it's like a whole food supplement, like a alfalfa or something like this, a green juice powder. We're really getting away from like synthetic vitamins and minerals here, but it's an open space for us to learn what's working for you. She was really excited to say that like she had really bad stomach pain, and then she received an IV drip of whatever vitamins and minerals. And for 4 days, her stomach felt amazing. But now she's back to the stomach issues. So it's like, if you don't keep going for this, you know, cocktail of synthetic vitamins and minerals, like you're not going to actually get to the root. You know, you're going to keep suffering. So we could talk openly and support you with what you're doing, but also give you some pointers to getting to the root cause of the issue, so you can really find remedy for your suffering. So the intention is to connect with you all. So yeah, really lovely if you can join us on these, especially on video. How nice is it to see each other like this, you know, and to know we're all around the world. We're like placed around the world like little lighthouses here to shine this light and this truth that the body really is the healer. You know, we're working as almost like little disciples of these teachings. Yeah. And it's not just Dr. Morse who brought these teachings. There's several healers who have been speaking about these same teachings over the years. You know, Dr. Morse learned from some of the natural hygienists, Arnoldehret, the mucusless diet healing system, and rational fasting. This goes back over 100 years ago, these teachings, and like they're way older, right? It's just a matter of connecting all the dots. And we just encourage you to experiment on your own body, and maybe obviously listen, but like learn to be skeptical too. But there is a lot we can offer here. So
if you want proof, just try it yourself.
Yes.
And you'll see.
Yes. You know, it's so funny because I had to like be careful with like my level of confidence, because I was helping a couple close friends who were open to making dietary and lifestyle changes. Hallelujah. People open to changing. Like this was unheard of. And I had to be careful with my level of confidence, because it can come across as arrogance. And so, but I did say, guys, like one thing that always resonated that my teacher always said is the proof is in the pudding. And one of my friends actually came back and was like, Jen, you were right. The proof really was in the pudding. And so that was really nice to hear. But yeah, we're here to support you guys. We work with iridology as well to find any weaknesses in the right, organs, tissues, and glands, like the right side of your body and the left, if the body's bilateral. And we can show you the different strengths and weaknesses. We work with the diet, which I like to more refer to as like a lifestyle of abundance, because it's living foods.
Could I interject? I would say that this is just rediscovering the correct diet for
species specific,
for us.
Yes,
specific
for our species.
Hey, I think it's just simple raw fruits and veggies.
You know how it resonates for a lot of people, I've learned, Pascal, is we're the only species that cooks our food before we eat it. That even for my mom, someone who like doesn't want to, come over on this kind of health healing train, right? She wants to continue living in her way, which is comfortable, enjoyable, like, this kind of like blissed out state of like ignorance. I love my mom. She's super smart and I respect her for her choices. I think she's really owning her path, and that really inspires me. But we're different in that way, but even for her, she was like, you know what, Jen, it does make sense now that you say that we're the only species that cooks our food. And we have different theories on like why it's so enjoyable to eat cooked food. Like Luigino Desario from the Master Fast System, a dear brother of mine and friend, he teaches that, and mentor, he teaches that when you cook the food, it opens up the energy packets and it offers like this sort of like comforting feeling to the emotional body. And it's addictive because it's like opening these energy packets. And like he has his whole own theory that somewhat resonates for me. But having said that, it's like I had to go 2.5 years raw in order for the C-spine to regenerate and heal. Like I could not do it uncooked. You know, now that I'm slowing down on my detox journey, I'm having some cooked food. And remember, even like, you know, Dr. Morse talks about how in the winter in these countries that are colder, right? The Northern Hemisphere, it's already so alkaline outside that if you have a little cooked, you know, you're already in such an alkaline state because of the cold weather. You know, it's not going to throw you too far off your detox, but depending on your situation, you may have to go more raw. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your injury that you just mentioned?
Yeah, thanks, Pascal. I always can count on you for asking questions that get me to open up and share. Thank you. So first of all, I can be, what did my mom call it? An advocate for not looking at your phone while you drive. I don't know what the term is for like, she's like, you should stand up and be a voice for this, you know, because you lived it. So it was a day where I was just like seeking happiness outside of myself. There was a friend I was very excited about that was newly in my life. And as I was driving, I was seeing if he was texting me, and I was looking down, and yeah, I got in a car crash. So I was going like 80 kilometers an hour. And because I wasn't looking right at the car, I didn't tense up. So I basically just like the airbag knocked me out for a second. And the side that I wasn't on, the passenger side, was that side that made contact was completely like, thank the Lord I didn't have anyone in the car. Mind you, I probably wouldn't have been looking at the phone if I had someone in the car. But anyways, it was a big learning experience for me. And that half of the car was totaled. So like my side was like this perfect bubble of protection saying, you know what, Jin, you're here for a reason. That was the lesson I learned is, okay, my time's not up yet, guys. There's something I'm really supposed to do here. Because after like a minute, the smell of the exhaust, or no, like the engine fluid that was leaking out after the impact woke me up out of this like concussion state, you know, from the airbag. I drive Volkswagens, but at the time it was a Jetta, and holy Lord, is it safe. Airbag here, airbag there. So I went boom, boom. So the right, or what was it? Boom, boom. Yeah. So anyways, there was an injury. But I like kind of just like waltzed out of the car once I woke up and went over and sat on the hill and made sure that the man who I hit was okay. He was holding his head and he was telling me, you're so lucky my kids weren't in this car. You're so lucky. He was very angry with me, of course, you know, understandable. And everything, you know, he had just like probably like myself, a concussion. Yeah, not so good. And I got taken away in an ambulance, and they put me in a neck brace, and I was so claustrophobic. I was freaking out. I like started to cry and told the paramedic, he better get me out of this. Like, take me out of this now. And he was like, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it for you. But when we get to the hospital, I got to put it back on you. Because just lying there like this, feeling, you know, the inflammation already starting, but I was such in a state of adrenaline that it didn't hurt that much. But I knew, I'm like, oh my God, this is uncomfortable. And I just got very claustrophobic. And then he took it out, and I felt a lot better. But I don't know if that was the wisest thing, because then like they didn't keep me in the neck brace. They didn't even keep me overnight in the hospital. They were just like, they told my boyfriend at the time, oh, just wake her up in the middle of the night, you know. And yeah, I went right back to work the very next day.
Oh, wow.
Like a
Okay.
mad woman. And I just had an ice pack, and it felt like my whole body had been
Yeah.
like beaten. And I
Sure.
just went to work anyways, because like this is like just what we're taught to do, you know, overly independent. And I didn't really know myself so well back then. You know, this was in 2013. So this was
Okay.
some
So
time ago.
what injuries did you end up
So it
getting?
was just the C spine. I was very, very blessed. So basically whiplash, and they prescribed me oxycodone. And I came from addiction as a teenager, so I knew I'm going to like this too much. So I told my doctor, no, I'll just take magnesium and turmeric. And I did that for a bit. That wasn't enough. I was still eating animal protein at the time. And then I just prayed. Like for 8 months, I had an ice pack to work with me every day. And I just prayed, like, I know I can heal. I was already had a background in the alkaline acid balance, but I wasn't taught that I had to go off meat. And I wasn't taught raw. I was just taught alkaline. So it wasn't working. And then I, thank the Lord, found Dr. Morse. And he was like this angel that came through the interweb highways and was just like, eat fruit and take herbs. And I was like, okay, I'm going out and buying all kinds of fruit. I don't even know what fruit I like, but I'm going to buy it. And I just started eating like all this fruit and doing mono fruit meals. And then I got into, you know, juice fasting, and like just stayed raw for 2.5 years, healed everything up. As soon as I got off the animal protein, the pain was like 80% better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want somebody who's suffering with pain to feel more pain, give them protein, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for asking, because it gave me an opportunity to share about something that, yeah, it was a really kind of scary time in my life, and I don't vocalize the story enough. You know, it's nice to be able to process it. So for any of you who listen to that, thank you so much for holding space. It means so much to me. And yeah, Pascal, for asking that question.
Okay, so I just want to keep going.
Yeah.
But so then you mentioned you did raw for 2 years. Is that what you did?
2.5 years, like,
2.5
like
years.
I'd say 90% raw. Like there might have
Okay,
been a couple
wow.
things in the dressings that were not
Of
technically
course,
raw.
sure. And obviously you learned how to, because this process forces us to learn how to eat very differently, right? You got to learn how to do this stuff. So obviously that's what you did. Is there any
And how to not eat too, like how your body actually heals when you're not eating.
when you're fasting?
Exactly.
Okay. So is there anything you can give us from
Yeah.
those 2 years? You must have learned something. The pain, talk about the pain and how the pain subsided.
Yeah. So the pain, like what I learned is it is acids. Like that's what that pain is. And the minute you clean up your diet and your emotional state to be more alkaline, you take an hour at least for yourself every day to just calm your nervous system, whether that be Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, walking in solitude. I'm talking no telephone, no headset, like just go on a walk by yourself, process your thoughts, meditation, these kind of things. Anything that can bring the nervous system down brings your acids down. And I just know that, like, you know, because it was instant relief. As soon as I put the cold on, it's like so much, it's like 50% better, the cold. And everyone's like, no, athletes always use heat. You should be putting heat. I'm like, trust me, if I put heat, that like burns it. Like, you know, if you could do hot and cold packs, just always end with cold. You know, cold is alkaline. I learned just so much how to feel what the ailments are and how to identify them. And it's just all so freaking simple. It's all acids, and toxins are actually seen as acids. So if you're using body wash that smells like you're in the middle of, I don't know, the Bay department store and they're sampling perfumes. Like if your body wash smells fragrant like that, this is toxins, this is acids, this is going to make all of your suffering worse. Even if it's a GI issue, you get some cramping, go off the toxic body wash. Like you're eating it. You're literally eating it. You know, I have a source for some really good body care stuff here in Toronto that you could literally eat. It's that clean. But yeah, that's a side note. But thank you for asking me what I learned. I also learned not to be so distracted, like distracted driving, distracted living. If your mind is trying to focus on 2 or 3 different things at once, that's causing tension in the body. That's an acidic state. That's distraction and like kind of like being in an anxious state, right? Where, oh, I gotta look at all these things at once, makes you very like stiff and tense and tight. It's like, find the one thing that needs to be a focus and just do that one thing. I even find it difficult just on this to think about looking if there's questions. Like, I think as this grows, we may need a mediator, you know, someone who's in charge of that. But yeah, it's really important for the mind to be calm.
Yeah, and relax. And I mean, that's why that meditation you did earlier, I mean, that's what I need. I just a couple minutes of, and then, because I know the state, I know how to be calm.
No,
right?
you
But
do. I love that about you.
You just need to be guided, you know. It's nice to be guided, and then because once I'm there, I'm calm, and you remember, because this is just remembering what to eat, remembering how to not think so much, right? These are all states of beings that we've been there already. We just got, I think this is an evolutionary process that we're in, obviously, but you know, we come and go. You know, we go here, experience life this way, go over here, experience, and then we come back and, you know, we forget and then we remember, back and forth, you know. That's how
I feel like if
see
it resonates as truth for somebody, that's the remembering that I think you're talking. It's like, learn to listen, but be skeptical. And then when you try the thing you listened to, you're like, okay, let me try it. I'm still skeptical, but let me try it. You know, if you're trying it and it's like resonating and there's something, even when you first hear it, if there's a resonance, even if your mind wants to doubt it and be skeptical, let it. But that resonance is I think what Pascal refers to as the remembering.
And from that point, I want to mention, okay, so here's the claim. The claim is, hey, we're supposed to eat fruit. Anything else is toxic. Well, I mean, that's a simplified version. Okay, so obviously if we observe nature, you know, we observe other animals, and we're related to apes by 99 point something.
98% the same as the primate, or 97%, something like this.
Other animals, it's less. So obviously we're more related. I mean, that's a fact, obviously. And
the
then
primates, yeah.
So what's the first thing you think? What's the first thing that you think about when you picture a chimpanzee or a monkey? That's my question to you.
They're eating fruit.
Okay, but specifically,
what do I picture? Oh, like okay, just like,
what's in his hand? What's in the ape's hand?
Well, after I said fruit and it wasn't correct.
It is a fruit, but more specifically, which
a banana.
Fruit?
A banana.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
You're a good teacher, Pascal. I got the answer right.
Okay, so, and then where am I going with this? Yeah.
Before you continue with that thought,
Yeah.
though, can I go
I've
backwards?
lost my train of thought
Okay, good,
already.
because I want to go
But
backwards, but it'll come to you, right?
sure, yeah.
Yeah, if it's meant to be. So a few moments ago, you mentioned you like being guided in a meditation, or
I
you
think
need,
we all need to be guided because we all
okay.
forget.
Okay, so guess what? Today, I guided myself. And last night, so freaking beautifully, to the point where I'm like so proud of myself right now, because, you know, it's really easy for me to cultivate this state of peace and calm when I'm alone, when I'm in solitude. The practice is now being around other people and still being able to cultivate this. And it's not looking so pretty, I'll tell you that. Like, luckily I'm with people that I consider safe, because I had to go into this state last night and today. Like, I was guiding myself, like, okay, Jin, you're feeling frantic. Like, I was feeling frantic, and I had to guide myself in sounding technique, meditation kind of thing, where it was a kind of a mix of everything. I don't know, it's more intuitive guidance coming through. Like, I grabbed my acupressure ball, which I packed with me over to my boyfriend's house, and I was like, I'm staying with him for a few days, right? Because there was construction at my place. I finally just got back today, but after a few days with one person, you know, you definitely see more of yourself and the stuff that you don't really want to see about yourself. So it can get a little intense, you know, emotionally, mentally speaking, spiritually even. And so I got this acupressure ball and I just started like rolling on it in different parts of my back. And I was just like, making these sounds. And he's like making comments now and then. It's like, oh, you sound like my vacuum sealer. He has like this vacuum sealer, you know, you want to seal up some dried fruit or something, right? So I'm making these sounds. Or I once had another girlfriend go, oh, you sound like an animal dying. And I'm making these sounds, and it's literally just moving the energy and just like honing it in. And I thought that would be all I needed, because I felt really great today. And I do my morning meditation practice. And then throughout the day, I had a EFT class, emotional freedom technique, where I am guided. And you're true. Like, it's so nice to be guided. Like, a lot of the time I won't do it unless I am being guided. But then my boyfriend came home from work, and I could feel I was frantic again. I get frantic around people. What can I say? And like, it's maybe the codependency, or it runs pretty deep in some of my programming. And, you know, I feel I need to be a certain way in order to be loved or accepted. And I want to get out of that. I want to break that. So I just put myself in another like yin kind of yoga thing on my own, where I was just holding these yoga poses for long duration, holding child's pose for 5 minutes and breathing. Like inhaling for 5, holding at the top for 5, exhaling for 5, holding at the bottom for 5. It's really nice, these 5-part breaths, or you could do 4-part breaths if that feels better for you. And it's like, I became like so in touch with the chi or the ki or the prana, whatever you want to call it, that I started to cry. And it was like this tension in my body just clearing out. And I felt amazing after. So I just wanted to share that, because these practices are always available to us, and we can guide ourselves into these. And for the last, like, maybe 5 minutes of this call, I want you to, maybe if you can, share on, because we talked about the lymph and we talked about the diet, and I want to know, how are you doing, Pascal, in
Okay,
terms
wait,
of,
before I get into the
okay,
details, but I have
cut
to,
you off from before, right?
no, but from what you were talking about,
Oh,
I
okay.
want to put a link, because just like you just said, you know, there's the body, but then we can't forget about the emotional side and the spiritual side. But the emotional side, I mean, they're like this, right? They come together. If you loosen up physically the lymph, you also loosen up the emotions, because the emotions seem to be locked in somewhere in the body, and they're triggered by these physical things happening. So they go together. And I think a lot of times when we get on fruit too fast, I mean, some people seem to do it pretty easily, but if if you do things too fast, then um, things come up, emotional things come up. And if we're not prepared with dealing with these emotional things, then we risk uh, falling off the horse, so to speak, in terms of our diet and sticking to the correct diet. So I just wanted to put that in there.
I love that, Pascal. Thank you.
Because I mean, I'm not the only one, but perfectionism seems to be one of the character defects. It's a good thing. Sometimes it's not a good thing, but in the past, I've done it too fast on the fruit, and you feel so good. You're like on a cloud, and you're like, hey, I don't need this. I don't need a job. I don't need a
I don't need
family. I don't need
relationships.
this. Right. I can just go straight up into heaven. And then I'm there waiting. You're there waiting, saying, oh, why do I have to stay here? Because it's pretty shitty sometimes. Right. But we're here for a reason. We're here to learn. And it doesn't happen like that. I think you can't, I mean, you can stay high if you can maintain it. But I know for myself, I've crashed down. And when I crash pretty hard.
Yeah, and I'd
And
love to
so,
hear from people who have done high fruitarian and fasting, like what their views are on this. I definitely relate fully to you with needing to be more in this body. And even some of my Reiki friends, like from this new community I'm part of, they're saying, like with the Reiki energy too, it's like you could really be out of your body a lot, and you have to really work on the fact that, you know what, we're still human, we're still here on this earth for a reason. I like to call it this like earth body, she's squishy and earthy and wise. Like this earth body knows so much. If I'm feeling anything not so good, then there's something that needs to be addressed and looked at. Like you said, all of the bodies are connected.
Yeah, and that's your vessel, This is my vessel, and it's with my vessel that I explore things, right?
Oh my God,
And
Pascal, it makes me so happy to hear you say that.
so, where shall we move on?
Well, let's save my question about what you're doing for your lymph system and with where you're at with the raw foods for the next call, if that's okay, because we're coming 2 minutes away from when we should close. It was a bit of a quieter one tonight, but again, I expected that because I've been kind of all over the map with these. So now I can really start promoting that, okay, every 2 weeks, this is what's happening. That feels right for you too. Yeah, Pascal?
Of course.
I can see if you have any final words before I read off the close. Okay, perfect.
I'm just going to, so one of my hobbies is gardening or plants,
Okay.
and there's so much to learn from plants. And the one thing that comes up in soil is acidity versus alkalinity, right? If it's too acidic, some nutrients cannot be absorbed by the plants. That, sorry, if the nutrients are there in the soil, but if it's too acidic, then the plant cannot absorb them. And same thing if it's too alkaline, if the soil's too alkaline.
Mhm.
But my point is, which is interesting, is I was reading on, because I bought 2 plants when I was in Barrie, Ontario.
Yeah.
So I was looking up, plant care, whatever. And then, anyways, it talked about, it referred an alkaline soil as a sweet soil.
Ooh.
And the acid soil is acid.
Mhm. Seems almost like sour,
Yeah, I possibly.
like a
I'll
little
look.
too sour. Not like a good sour, like a
Well, it's sour.
lemon.
Yeah.
Like too sour, like something that went bad.
But what's cool is that they're referring to alkaline soil as sweet.
That is
And
cool.
what's alkaline that we eat?
Fruit.
Fruit. I mean, that's pretty cool.
There's a reason we crave that
It's
sweet.
right. And there, so the pH level is important.
Fascinating.
Everything's pH, right?
Yeah, and I like too that like you talk about too alkaline as well, because
Right.
too alkaline is also like a state of acid.
Yeah.
It's very hot, like bleach. Bleach is like 11 pH or something.
That's
Like
right.
that's very
That's right. Okay.
corrosive. Yeah. Wow, thank you for enlightening us on your passion and your joy. And I can't wait to learn more about you with your plants. It just feels like you can bring life,
Hey, I'm just another plant too,
This is true.
I need sunlight and nutrient.
We are all plants.
What else do you need?
We're very much like plants. We're very much like plants. I love that. Thank you. So if you want to support us in spreading truth and awareness about how the body truly is the healer, please like and share this video with anyone you think could benefit from the information shared. If you'd like to send a donation because you feel this information is important and you appreciate our efforts here and want to help us to keep this going at the Raw Reset, you may send your donations via e-transfer to Jeanette@thehealingjunction.ca. Please invite friends to our Facebook group. Remember, it's a private group, so you will need to invite them personally, and you could do so within the group by using the invite button. Alternately, you may refer your friends to my YouTube channel, Jeanette Anakini, and or my Instagram, The Healing Junction. And remember to type Toronto if it's not coming up for you. So yes, I just wanted to thank you all for tuning in. I just really appreciate this opportunity to show up in this way. I'm always here for you during your detoxification efforts or your healing journey. Please reach out anytime. I love to share just from my own experience, any resources that might be helpful for you. And the ultimate intention is just to connect with you. So thank you so much, lovely ones, for being here. And Pascal, you just make me so happy. Thank you so much for all of your efforts and spreading the light, that the body can heal itself. So thank you for your education and your presence and everything you share, your beautiful heart. Really so inspiring.
Well, thanks for having me, Jen.
It's
so much fun. It's always fun.
Oh, and with
Talk
that,
about this. Yeah. We should do this. This is what we're doing,
so much
this is the
gratitude.
venue. This is our venue, and we're all in this together,
This is it. So let's grow this together. And yeah, just so much love. And I want you guys to all feel well and be well. And just know you can live until 120 and then pass away peacefully. Yeah, there doesn't have to be suffering. A lot of people
suffering's a choice.
Yeah. So sending so much love your way. And I cannot wait till we do this again, Pascal. And thank you, dear ones. Have a great day wherever you are, a great day or night. Lots of love.
Okay. Bye.
Bye for now.
Take care. See you
Yeah.
next time.
See ya.